Good evening, everybody. How are you? Welcome to Wisdom Wednesdays. It's 9:30 p.m. Wednesday night, New York, East Coast, United States time. And every Wednesday night, I get together here on Instagram now and talk about something that I find interesting, unique, a conversation that is going on around the mass public, and something that I really like to focus on and bring some clarity, some wisdom, some enlightenment to. And tonight is a really good topic. Tonight we are talking about fifth dimensional consciousness. Hey, Craigo. So many people talk about fifth dimensional consciousness. You see posts online all the time about fifth dimensional consciousness. We see in spiritual teachers talking about it now. There are books all along talking about it. And it's absolutely one of the, I would say, kind of right now, one of the most misused terms in spirituality. And I'm just kind of sitting here prolonging it a little bit, just giving it a few seconds for some people to show up. Hey, how you doing? Good evening. Good evening. There you go. There you go. So again, I'll just give it a couple of seconds and then I can kick into my deal here. But again, we are going to be talking tonight about fifth dimensional consciousness. What is fifth dimensional consciousness? And more importantly, what are the real practical aspects of fifth dimensional consciousness? What does that mean to us now? How do we apply it? How do we use it? So we're going to talk about that tonight. And we're also going to get into some of the mythological aspects of it, some of the far-fetched aspects of it. And none of this is meant to be belittling or demeaning, but what it is meant to do is get you going, get you vibrating in that fifth dimensional consciousness. Now, right off the bat, when we talk about what are these dimensions, in relation to fifth dimensional consciousness, third dimensional consciousness, what are these dimensions? Now, I'm not going to get into dimensional states of existence as far as this is our universe. I'm sorry, I don't do split lives with anybody, so don't even bother hitting that button. I'm not going to talk about aspects of different dimensions right now. We're talking about dimensional consciousness. And these dimensions, when you hear about these dimensions, they are dimensional states of consciousness, planes of existence via consciousness and location. Planes of existence via consciousness and location. And do me a favor, be right back doing some deep writing and stuff. I don't need to know what you're doing. I'm here doing my broadcast. Please do me a favor and just keep those conversations to yourself. It doesn't make me a difference. You want to go and do something, go and do something, because honestly, you're just interrupting what I'm doing right now. So I'm talking about fifth dimensional consciousness, okay? So these are different planes of existence, and we obtain them either by location or by state of awareness. And if you think the first dimensional, the second dimension, and what we supposedly exist in now, the third dimension. So the first dimension is a physical plane. The second is an ethereal plane, a non-physical plane. The third is a physical plane. The fourth dimension would be a non-physical plane, something that is beyond the human body, the human experience, the angelic realm, things along those lines. The fifth dimensional consciousness would be another physical plane. So we don't need to go on to that because it goes all the way up to the ninth dimension, which is the final physical plane, supposedly, and then after that you reach the God state. Now, the fifth dimensional consciousness is what everybody right now is talking about. These portals are opening up, all these things are happening around us, and that information is pouring into us. 1221 portal, shifts 3 years ago, this portal. And that's one of the things I want to talk about right off the bat, is that whole aspect of again, this dangling the carrot and drawing out spirituality. You know, most of us have grown up looking at spirituality, the Bible and stuff, and mocking it and laughing at and poking fun at those stories. But right now, the stories have shifted. It's the same stories of the Bible, but instead of Jesus and stuff, we've turned it into Arcturians and Pleiadians, and we've just changed the beings who are communicating with us. So again, in 20 to 30 to 50 years, are we going to look back at this aspect and go, wow, what were they thinking? Because again, a lot of this does start to fall into the fact of mythological thinking, people taking advantage of you because of your hopes, your dreams, and all of those aspects. But we live in the third dimension. For all scientific, practical purposes, the third dimension means a physical existence, 3 dimensions, and that's what we are, 3-dimensional beings. Our third dimensional consciousness, what we know is existing in this society, perceiving and thinking the way that our parents and our grandparents and our great-grandparents is, perceiving and honoring those traditions and all of those things. So what would be the 5th dimensional consciousness? Now this is the problem. This is where there is a problem, is everyone right now keeps saying, oh, the 1221 portal, the 2 stars, the 2 planets, Jupiter and Saturn are going to be aligned the first time and make a beautiful star on 1221, the winter solstice, the portal's open, we're ascending, we're doing all this. Everyone literally thinks now that all of a sudden something's going to go click and they're going to go from being themselves to, oh, all of a sudden there it is. I'm floating, I'm fluffy, I'm white, I'm a big cloud, I can do all these things. And that's absolutely poppycock. It's nonsense, it's bullshit. It has nothing to do with what the 5th dimensional consciousness is. The 5th dimensional consciousness is taking that level of awareness from the 5th dimensional plane of existence into the 3rd dimensional existence by way of awareness, by way of what you are receiving. So supposedly, hypothetically, we're in the 3rd dimension. We are bypassing the 4th dimension because that's an ethereal plane. That's a plane of awareness and different type of existence. And we're adapting into the 5th dimensional plane, a physical plane, and bringing that awareness here. Okay, so let's just buy into that. Let's say it's all real. It's all real, and it's happening now. The shifts happen. I've written about it in both my books, 5 years ago on YouTube videos, 10 years ago on the Sunday Coffee series I've done, right? All this has been happening a long time now. And, you know, it's all a loop and things like that. We'll get into that another time. But, so what are you supposed to do right now? Because it's not all of a sudden going to be like you wake up one day and you are a completely different person. But inside you right now, your entire life, as a matter of fact, there's been something in you trying to get you to be that different person, trying to motivate you from inside, trying to get you to listen inside instead of letting your ego, the outside world perspective, affect the inside. And that's what we all do. The 3rd dimensional way of thinking is sitting here in this world, looking around this world, looking at our watches and our clocks and our handbags and our trinkets and our cars and our politics and our religions, and identifying all of those as ourself, letting all of those create thoughts and emotions inside, letting those thoughts and emotions spew out in front of us, and letting us take our steps dictated by those. That's 3rd dimensional thinking. Eating shitty food, cursing, taking part in all of these things that do not serve you with light. So I'm going to ask one more time. What would be 5th dimensional consciousness? If you are rising to 5th dimensional consciousness, if you're out here posting it, I'd like to just say one thing right now. 99% of these pages on Instagram that are talking about 5th dimensional consciousness and all of these things have no idea what 5th dimensional consciousness is, because they're using that information for profitable gain, for manipulation, to sell you clothes, to overcharge you for psychic readings and all of these things. And that has nothing to do with 5th dimensional consciousness, because it's ascending above this way of society. You don't take that level of awareness, 5th dimensional consciousness, the awareness of a higher being, and take it down here and try and fit it into this world that we are trying to leave behind. So when you're sitting here thinking about it, fifth dimensional consciousness is living it now. It's shifting. You've heard the word. It is shifting yourself right now to start to live that way, to start to meditate and exercise and listen to the silence inside, to eat better foods, to stop taking part in mass slaughter. Don't sit there and tell me you love animals and you love all these things when you're stuffing hamburgers in your mouth and you're petting your dog and you're fighting all these other causes. Don't tell me that all life doesn't matter and tell me all life matters when you're eating it. It's rising above all of the things that do not serve us with light. The fifth dimensional consciousness is bringing all this. It's not exposing conspiracy theories and pedophiles and raunchy governments and crooked politicians. That has nothing to do with it. Again, those are all things that are serving your false identity, the ego, the exterior world. The fifth dimensional consciousness is starting to ascend higher to the God state. If the ninth dimensional consciousness is the highest physical plane and the God state is after that, then that means evolving. We are celestially, aside from physical evolution, technological evolution, the emergence of biology, humans, and technology that's coming down the line. We are evolving celestially, your soul, your spirit. So if there are 9 dimensions and the first is a physical, that's more of the cell, when we were nothing but this little given individual awareness polywog. And then the next would be some ethereal plane before here, and then would be coming out of your mommy in the 3rd dimension. And the 4th, well, we've just kind of bypassed that and we're just jumping to the 5th, but we'll talk about that another day. So we're just taking the 5th dimensional, that plane, physical plane of existence, which we haven't gotten yet because supposedly you should die, go to the 4th, and then ascend to the 5th. But nope. Right now, all the spiritual manipulators, these spiritual entrepreneurs, not teachers, not messengers, spiritual entrepreneurs want you to believe and use these terms to hook you in again, because there was no such person as Jesus and Moses, and you've laughed at all the stories of Noah, and you've poked fun at the Hare Krishnas and all this stuff. But the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, the crystals and Reiki and all these things that we're practicing today, that's the truth and that's the way to go. But you don't think in 50 years we're going to look back and go, so the 5th dimensional consciousness, if that's the term you want to use, if ascending, rising to that higher awareness is what you are trying to achieve, then it's using words that come from a place of love, kindness, compassion, freedom, unity, patience for everyone. It's looking at the people you hate, the political parties you hate, the religions you laugh at, and all of a sudden feeling sympathy and love and compassion for them, even if they think differently than you, even if they are vibrating at a lower level than you. You don't look at them with a heart of cruelty and judge them with harshness. You look at them with sympathy, support. You reach your hand out if they are down and you help them up. Ascending to the 5th level of consciousness is to stop taking part in all of the things that have been destroying our planet, destroying humanity, suppressing humanity. You don't sit there and say, God bless the troops, and get on a plane to go over there and blow up fucking people in a village, and then come home and like on 5th dimensional consciousness post. You don't go looking at your friends and go, screw you, you're all a bunch of dirtbags because of your political party, and then go home and go, I am ascending to the 5th level, I am the enlightened being in consciousness, because no, you're just full of shit. You're just procrastinating. You're just feeding your ego something right now to distract you from the truth. You're not ascending to the 5th level of consciousness because you're not trying to truly change. I do it for a little bit, you slip and fall. You do it for a little bit, you slip and fall. It's getting up, and it's every day living that life of discipline. I meditate at 8 o'clock. I drink my water at 8:30. You do all of these things. And I'm not saying you can't have fun. I'm not saying I'm an idiot and I'm a dumbass and I don't like TV shows. But the music, the things that you have let dictate your life, the things that you have let control and manipulate your life, the things you have identified that have nothing to do with your life, you start to observe them. You start to observe them with a different set of eyes, a different heart, a different level of vibration. Look, man, come on. How many times right now, if you start to go back and look from the 60s and the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, from psychics and John Edwards and Chloe and all these people, this cycle of spiritual manipulation and spiritual comedy. It's just, we take these biblical texts and these spiritual texts and we take these meanings of ascension and we start to just twist them and turn them. We take insight and wisdom that comes from within and we go, oh, it's the Pleiadians and the Arcturians. So what you're telling me is you can't get in touch and hear your own higher awareness that transcends time and space. But you can hear and talk to a Pleiadian who's sitting on a rock on a planet 15 million light years away from here. Stop it. You're telling me that you can't get up and get yourself out of a funk and overcome it because Mars is pulling away from the Earth. Stop it. These things that you're letting inhibit, these excuses you're making are not rising to the fifth level of consciousness, because that ascension, that awareness is opening up your mind and your heart to the channel of all. I swear to you, as a kid, and I don't know if he's still on here, my buddy Craig was on here. I've known him I'm 52 years old. I'm going to be 53 in 2 months. I've known Craig since I'm 3 years old. These questions, this journey I have been on my entire life. I didn't have access to books and all of these things and great education. So all of this comes from within. And it drives me crazy that people will sit here and deny the truth that comes from within. They will deny the connection. They will deny and procrastinate and make all these excuses and second guess it. But they'll like these posts that are from flying saucers and UFOs and ghosts and psychic and cards that were flipped over by somebody online 13,000 miles away from you because somebody in China or me saw 1111 and I post it and it gets 250 likes. I mean, these things that we're letting be the fire, the fuel, or the downside of our spiritual evolution or spiritual path has nothing to do with it. Because the greatest teachers of all, and if we go backwards, Mooji, Ram Dass, and we go to Jesus and Buddha, and we go to Muhammad, and all these great teachers, when we look at them, they didn't have libraries and books. They didn't have the internet. They didn't have all these opinions and thoughts. You know what they had? Solitude, quiet, loneliness, a lot of time to think and listen to. Everything coming from inside. So do yourself a favor. You really want to rise to the fifth ascension, to the fifth level of consciousness. You want to hear your higher awareness. Shut this shit off. Stop letting everybody, every post, every comment make you feel a certain way. Stop letting every single thing in this outside world, every politician, every religion, all these things divert you and twist you, because all they are is labels and words and ways to distract you and sell you and rope you in and dangle the carrot in front of your face and distract you from the one thing that's been talking to you your entire life. Your higher awareness. That thing that transcends time and space, because it is inside of you. The voice you distract and associate with is the one that mommy, daddy, school, friends, society all created. But that thing, that silent, gnawing loneliness inside that is trying to get you up off your ass and finally become the person you've been dreaming of, is that fifth dimensional consciousness. So you have a choice. You can go to sleep tonight, be grateful for the day, Thank God for the day. Thank the cosmos, the universe, the quantum computer, the simulation, the AI, whatever it is you believe in. And you can wake up tomorrow morning and you can be the person you are today or the person you were yesterday, or you can be the person you're trying to be tomorrow. Rising to the fifth dimensional consciousness, taking part in the shift, being a part of what humanity, this planet, the universe, and God needs you to do isn't in 2 months from now, isn't in 6 weeks from now, it's not in 2 hours from now. It's right now. As a matter of fact, it was 100 years ago and 1,000 years ago, and we have passed the tipping point, and if we don't get our asses in swift gear, it's done. And what more do you need to see happen? Look, globally, racially, economically, health-wise, spiritually, every single thing you can think about, we are divided on this planet. We are striving and fighting and waiting for some floating being to come down, for some big beam of light to all of a sudden unite and ascend us all. Unity does not happen in the exterior world. We created this world to learn the lessons, to find our way to true unity. Unity comes from in one place, right here. It is inside you, the mother, the father, the balance, all of it, the light, the dark. You know inside your mind, inside this thing right here, all your secrets, all your fantasies, all your lies, all your desires, all your truth, all your love, all your hope, things that the exterior world and nobody will ever know, and it will be in there with you in this physical reality forever. And you have a choice. See it differently, observe it differently, ascend beyond it, embrace forgiveness and all of those things you're supposedly taking part in now, and take part in them now. So, the fifth dimensional consciousness is ascending beyond the current state of our society. Everything we honor, we know technologically we don't need to be out there working. We have sources of energy that can blow everything out there away we're digging up and destroying the planet for. We're slaving away at jobs that we can have automated and do all these things. We can live off the land because the land provides for us. Clean, fresh water to drink. Greens, fruits, vegetables growing on the surface of the planet. But nope, let's tear it all down because we need more malls. Amazon needs more warehouses because we need more stuff. Because we need to keep distracting ourselves from the place we don't want to be. In here. I don't like it in here. You don't like it in there, do you? I love it in my own mind. It's my favorite place to be. But so many of you are uncomfortable in your own mind. You're running and trying to escape from what's talking to you in there. Maybe it's time you stop. Maybe it's really time you just stop and shut up. Let life around you play its part. Let the dance finish. Let the song end. Let the pages of the book flip to the end. Stop sticking your opinion and your perspective and your energy and your nose and your foot in everybody else's business and in everything else that the world's doing, and allow the world and everybody else in it the freedom that you so want. So maybe it's time to focus on what's going on in there, what's going on in here, instead of what's going on out there. Because Gandhi, Jesus, Buddha all told you. Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world, okay? Jesus said it like the way to the Father is through me, meaning live the life that I'm living. Devote yourself to the higher power. Live for love, unity, and honor. Buddha said, forget all this. Attachment, materialism is the root of all suffering. Let go of all these things. Let go of your possessions. John Lennon wrote about it. Mooji speaks about it. Ram Dass speaks about it. Everyone speaks about it. But you'll sit here after this, you'll jump online, you'll click on Edge, you'll go shopping on Amazon. It's Christmas time. It's Christmas time. I want my gifts. You know what I want for video? I don't even know if you saw the video before this. You know what I want for Christmas? I told my wife, my son, telling everybody, if you want to buy me something for Christmas, if you had a $5 budget or a $100 budget, take that money and go to the supermarket and spend it in groceries. And right at the end of the register in every single supermarket, right at the end of the register, somewhere on that way out, is that bin that says donation to the local food bank. I just want you to buy a bag of food. Because in 2021, 2 to 3 million people, statistically, almost a year ago when the pandemic first started, economically are going to die, and that number has risen. So 2 to 3 million people globally over the next year are going to die of starvation, meaning they won't be able to put something in their mouth. Women, men, children, little boys, little girls are going to die. They're going to die. They're going to die because of politics and religion and society and money and borders, imaginary lines scribbled on a piece of paper that tell you and I we can't get together and meet. So you want to ascend to a 5th level of consciousness? Then we really have to tell this entire world around us to go fuck off, because it's time to rise with light, and we've had enough of this shit that's going on. You take as little part in all of it as you can. You got to vote? Great, you vote. You got to pay your taxes? Great, you pay your taxes. That's it. Stop killing animals. Stop belittling and yelling at your children. Stop fighting with your spouses over money and stupid shit that have nothing to do. And realize that you can all live a lot simpler by minimizing, wanting less, needing less, giving more, expressing more gratitude, embracing more silence, sitting in more silence, exercising, meditating, getting outside and smelling the grass, seeing the sky, the leaves, the trees, the rivers, the animals, because you know why? They won't be here one day. Because we have completely destroyed this planet for materialistic objects and buildings, all for one thing, the pursuit of money. Because the kings and queens don't want the peasants to have anything without busting their asses so they can live in ways that blow your imagination away. You think those mansions and those castles and those nice cars and those yachts and those private jets are as good as it gets for them? You're kidding yourself. So rise, my friends, rise. Pretend to rise. Pretend to rise every day until one day you woke up and you have risen. You'll know when that day comes, but for many of you it has not come in. The path to enlightenment, and every single greatest teacher will tell you this, never ends, because they know that that transfer of consciousness goes on. Even the God state, check that out. Even the God state, even the first awareness beyond all of the awarenesses that have created dimensions and realities and universes, that first source still evolves, because universes expand with information from all the life in those universes as we project out our thoughts. Black holes form from stars sinking in, and more galaxies and universes are created, and life forms. And those life forms, like us, some of them evolve to transcendence and digital transcendence, and we create worlds, and we go in and we create, and we become demigods and little gods. And that first awareness, the big boy, the big mama, the machine, I like to call it, honestly, as of late, it grows, it learns, it cares, but you want to believe that it sticks its hand down through all these dimensions, realities, and just moves you out of the way and stuff. It's you moving yourself out of the way. It's your high awareness. It's not the Pleiadians. It's not your dead grandmother. It's you. It's always been you. That voice inside that has been trying to guide you when you were a little kid is probably you today or tomorrow, that level of awareness. And that voice inside you right now trying to guide you is you tomorrow, or in 5 years, or in 10 years, or in 2,000 years, trying to guide you today. So believe in yourself. Love yourself. Give yourself credit and compassion, because all of those dark days are behind you. You've overcome all of that dark shit. So stop walking towards the light with your back towards it. Stop and turn around and face that light and walk forward with confidence, with love, knowing you are tethered to, you are gifted from that one awareness. You are a branch of God. You are a part of God. You are that awareness. We are all branches of it. We are gifted this individual awareness existing within the one awareness. We get these identities and we get to experience. So why walk and see anymore with jealousy and bitterness and hatred in your heart when you know all you want is someone to love you? Someone to really love you. No matter what you've done, no matter what you say, no matter what you look like, you want somebody to love you for what's inside here. And most of you hide what's in here from the people who are closest to you. How many in your own relationship can hand your spouse your phone and unlock your phone and let them go through your photos and social media and all those things? How much trust do you really have in your relationships? How much do you hold inside? How many emotions and secrets and desires do you hold inside yourself? So, rising to the fifth dimensional level of consciousness is forgetting and letting go of everything, because we now know that everything we've been taught to honor does not serve us with light. It's about control and power and money and manipulation. And it is time for us to ascend beyond that. We know 99.9% of the human perspective is completely damaged, broken, and lost. We know we completely live in an inverted society. We know we take our children's innocence away from them. We strip it away and stick them in rooms and stuff their minds with information to make them run the hamster wheel better so they can grow up to be just like you. Just like you. And you try so hard to make life better for them. Well, guess what? Make life better for you. Inside you, inside those locked doors, you know every single thing that will make you happy. You know every single thing you need to do to connect to the higher power. You know every single thing you need to do to make your body feel better, to look better. You know every single thing you shouldn't eat and should eat. And still, I'm begging you when you wake up in the morning, don't let the first thing you do be grab your fucking phone. Sit there a minute. You're here again. You've opened your eyes. So much shit has happened in the subconscious mind. So many questions have been answered. So much clarity is there. Allow yourself to lay in bed and do nothing. 5 to 10 minutes. I promise you, if you do this tomorrow, you will write me and go, shit, you were right, you asshole. Today is a better day. And if you do it 2 days in a row and 3 days in a row, guess what? You're meditating without even knowing it, you idiot. You're sitting there and laying there, observing the silence within. You're listening and just being and doing nothing. You're being what you were supposed to be. Just yourself, without influence, without distraction. And you owe it to yourself to do this to yourself now. And I'm begging you, if you do not take charge and you do not be the change that you must be, not want to be, must be, then everything fails. Everything fails. We are all pieces of one of the most intricate puzzles you have ever imagined. We are all beyond ancient. Our energy and consciousness and awareness has transcended and traveled and experienced so many things that we must evolve and learn the lessons of manifestation and love and unity here, because where we're going, the opportunity here in this world, this planet, this earth, your lifetime is going to be insanely amazing. And I promise you, you don't want to be an asshole when that day comes. So stop. Stop. Whether it's God, Buddha, Mohammed, or Crystal, whether it's Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny, I don't care what you believe in, because it's all just coordinates that lead to one place, one home. And we all have it in here. We are all tethered to it. We are all grounded to it. We are all bound to it, because we are swimming through it. Every single thing around us is it. We exist in the machine, in God. We are vibrating photons like a table, but we just got movement and consciousness, and we've got sentience, and that's all we are. A soul is a sentient organism that utilizes logic. So please, for the first time in your life, would you listen to that undeniable logic that is screaming inside of you? Screaming inside of you. It's time. It's time. So you want to bullshit yourself, you want to use labels, you want to rise to the fifth dimensional consciousness, then this is it. It's not supporting that guy who's really cute and good looking and charges you $200 to talk to you for 20 minutes. It's not this person here. It's not buying 50 more books. It's stopping, listening, and taking part and supporting and condoning that fucking hamster wheel of an existence, and uniting all of us, because we all know. Here I am in Connecticut. There's Craig in Nevada. There's people in India and Austria and South Africa and Canada. And I don't want a freaking thing from you. I don't want a penny. I don't want a dime. I don't want a cup of coffee. I just want you to trust that divine source that speaks to you inside. I don't care what you see it as or what you call it. It's all the same thing. So please, for the love of God, start to be that thing, that being, that person, that husband, that mother, that father, that parent, that spouse, that human that you are dreaming to be. Because one day in this reality, just like you're going to go to sleep tonight, you're going to close your eyes and you are going to wake up in a completely different place. And this person you are right now is going to slowly get further away from your consciousness. And you are absolutely something somewhere else. So make the most of this. It's not a dress rehearsal. You don't get to come here and I'm telling you, there's so many people in your life who need your love, need your friendship, need your patience. There are so many people you don't know who just need your good intentions. They want to sit in their house hungry, knowing that those feelings of hope they are getting are real because somebody is thinking about them and sending it to them. So seriously, when you go to the store tomorrow, I don't care if it's 1 can of soup or 10 cans of soup. You've got the power. You've got the power That's it. We're done. I'll see you Sunday, everybody. Take care.